Welcome back to Success and Equity on BCTV. We just spoke with mayoral candidate Karen Goh. And boy, did she blow my hair back. I'll tell you what, she has a lot of energy and she is a serial carer. This is a person who walked away from a pretty prestigious career in publishing in New York City and came back here to care for her mother, who was very ill and unfortunately passed away. But she decided to stay, work with Garden Pathways because she believes in people. And it's about time we believed in ourselves. There's a lot of great things happening in Kern County. We have all the raw ingredients to be one of the absolute best places in the state. We have oil, we have food, and we have people who work their tails off, as she pointed out. And now it's kind of time to take care and develop ourselves. And the next person that we're having on the show is in that business. Manuel, welcome to Success and Equity. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. You're a homegrown product, by the way.
Yes, I am.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Arvin High School, which is located in Arvin, about 30 minutes south of here.
Go Bears.
Yes.
And then you went to Cal State Bakersfield.
Yes, I did.
Which we won't hold it against you. It's a good school. I mean, it's no BC, but it's a good school.
Yeah.
But now you are here at Bakersfield College, and what is your job?
I work with the Outreach and School Relations Department. So what my job is to promote Bakersfield College, go out into the local community high schools, and help students out with the matriculation process. So since I've gone on board about almost 2 months ago, I've gone out to various high schools, assisted students with our five-step matriculation process, which is of application, orientation, new student workshop, helping them proctor the assessment, and then this week actually, we're going to be going out and assisting with the registration portion of it.
And BC is doing more, I think, than they've ever done before to make the matriculation process and to make enrollment easier and to make school accessible, because I feel like once we get students on campus, and I was very afraid when I first came to school. I didn't know what to expect. I grew up in a very rural community where college is pretty highfalutin, and I felt a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of steps, but we really are doing more than ever to fast track that, essentially, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was, prior to working here at Bakersfield College, I was doing outreach at CSU Bakersfield, and I was hearing a lot of great things from Bakersfield College, which was one of the reasons why I decided to jump over to BC. I'm excited to be part of that as well. So this is essentially our second year going out to the high schools and pretty much providing the services to them, where beforehand students would have to go to BC and do a lot of the matriculation steps on their own. So that's great that we're taking initiative on that and going out to the high schools and providing that service to the students.
Well, and like Karen Goh was saying, there are a lot of gems out there.
There is.
There are a lot of people who, if we can mentor them, if we can give them a little bit of assistance, because we all need help in different ways. I look at our students sometimes on campus, and I'm like, maybe the cure for cancer is out there. Yeah, seriously.
Exactly.
There might be a kid out in Shafter or Arvin or Delano or another outlying community who has an incredible, amazing brain, but he's a diamond in the rough, or she's a diamond in the rough that hasn't been discovered. And if we get them in the classroom and they realize that they can ace this and with the right help, then it is going to improve our society.
Yes, it definitely is.
And we have an open house coming up. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we have our inaugural open house coming Friday, April 8th. And it's we're going to be busing out one bus per high school of the high schools which are in the Kern High School District. So we're looking at about 15, 16 different schools that we're going to be busing out. And some schools are even providing their own second bus as well. So we're looking at a large event, about 750 students to about 800 on our campus all at one time. So it's very exciting, and I'm glad I'm taking initiative and planning that as well.
And while we're glad to have you on the job, do you remember when you were in their shoes?
Yes, I do. Once I graduated from Arvin High in 2008, I went to Cal State Bakersfield, and I was one of those students who was a little shy at first. I didn't know who to ask for help or what to do. So luckily there was one program at my high school that was able to give me that extra push I needed in order to apply for school and attend eventually.
And it did take some help.
Yeah, it did. And I'm glad we're doing that for our students now at Bakersfield College, because like you mentioned earlier, it is there is 5 steps. It may be difficult, it may be challenging for some students. Some students may need that extra push or that extra assistance or support to apply, and I'm glad that we're doing that now. Now when I started at Cal State Bakersfield, I had, like I mentioned before, I had that support and luckily I was able to apply. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have taken an initiative upon myself and gone through the application process.
And what happens is there's kind of a small window there. And what overwhelmed me when I graduated from high school was when you are in school, nobody asks you this tricky question. So what are you going to do? Right? When you're in school, no one asks you, what are you going to do? They know what you're going to do. You're going to go to school, and then you're going to come home and throw the ball around or whatever. But as soon as you graduate from high school, man, boy, that question starts getting jammed right in your ear.
It does.
So what's your plan? What's next? What are you going to do? You're like, and then maybe your dad starts asking that question, and that's when it really gets hot around the collar. And if your parents didn't go to college, the expectation is for me anyway, my dad wanted me to go work in the mill, just like he did. And just like his dad did. Well, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's hard. Did your parents go to college?
Yeah, no, I'm a first generation low income student, so
Wow.
I can relate to many of the students who
You're
apply to
pretty.
Bakersfield.
You're dressed pretty sharp now. I don't think you're low income anymore.
Yeah, thankfully, that's going to college has definitely paid its dividends off. And
It is an investment in yourself.
yes,
though.
it definitely is. So I had no clue on what to do to go to college. I couldn't ask my parents for help because they were as clueless as I was. My two elder sisters, they started out going to college, but then they decided to just keep working at the time. So I was in between, in the middle there. So luckily I had some support at Arvin High, and I was able to apply and graduated in 2012 with my Bachelor in Science in Business Administration. And then I just concluded my MBA this past November. So I just finished that.
Check out the big brains on Manuel. How did your parents take that? Did your dad want you to go to work? Was he like, whoa, college?
Yeah, at first, being that my sisters started out college, he wanted me to continue studying, but he let that up to me. He just mentioned that if I wanted to pursue education, he'll support me. And if I didn't, then, then I can just go out and work too. So since he was the college aspect of it was unfamiliar to him, so he wasn't sure that if that's something I wanted to do, because that's not something I saw around my family as well. So I took the initiative, I went to college, and here I am today.
No, and you're doing big things, and you're giving back. Today we're talking about Karen Floyd. Well, we're remembering her. Unfortunately, she passed away recently, and she was a tremendous inspiration to me, and I only spent 15 minutes with her. She told an excellent story about how she never gave up on her educational dreams. And even though it took her a while and she didn't do it the traditional way, she eventually got a terminal degree. She got a PhD from Claremont.
Yeah, wow.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yes.
And persistence is the key there, and then she was able to give back. Do you feel that same desire to give back that was given to you?
Yes, I definitely do. I started working as a student worker at CSUB with the CalSO program, so that kind of motivated me to help students who were in my situation when they were in high school. Those students who were clueless, who didn't know what to do, how to apply, they needed that extra push. So I was there in those shoes at one point, and then now I want to give back and help those students who were in my shoes at one point as well. So
How were your grades in high school?
I was honestly I was an average student. I was happy just to get by. I
Did you
didn't-
study?
Yeah, honestly, I did not too much. I did study, but I was one of those students who, I can do it later.
Sure.
So, that motivation, it was there, but as I started getting to my junior and senior year, I began to see the importance of it, and then how a college education is essential to many. And I decided to put a little bit more effort, and I was able to graduate high school.
And when you got to college, was there an adjustment period where you were like, oh, I got to buy these books?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely was, especially going from high school, where a lot of things are given to you. I didn't take advantage of those resources in high school. I didn't appreciate them, to better say that. And once I got to college, I realized I had to buy my own books, so I better read them. I better start reading my books.
They're not doorstops.
Yes.
They're heavy enough, but no. And obviously you were successful. You've gone on to get a master's degree, but stick around and help us out at BC before you go for that PhD. Manuel, one more time, let's tell everybody what's happening at the open house. I know I'm going to be a part of it. We're having a Jeopardy type game.
Yes.
We're going to be giving some stuff away. It's going to be a fun day, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day for students. So the main purpose of the event is to get students familiarized with the campus, not just with we're knowing where their classrooms will be, but having them interact with other students. We're going to have student volunteers assisting us throughout the event. So we want to make sure that they engage with those students as well, seeing what life at BC is, what life at college is, what opportunities can arise from attending at Bakersfield College, because there is a lot of opportunities that could be found at BC. It's just that student needs that extra push. So we'll be having campus tours. We're going to be providing a financial aid workshop as well for students who may not be informed well about what financial aid is, what forms they need to turn in at BC, and then the last one, as you mentioned, that Jeopardy game. So we're going to have an interactive Q&A session with the students through that Jeopardy game. So looking forward to it.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that people will be absolutely shocked. If you're afraid of college, please don't be. Professors don't get into this business to fail people.
Yeah.
They get into this business to teach people and improve their lives. And in fact, there's nobody up at the college. I'm scratching my head right now. I'm trying to think of someone who isn't all about student service. We like to see students succeed. We want to help you.
Yes.
But your responsibility in that, Joe or Susie student, is to take advantage of the help, like Manuel did when he went to college, but he didn't when he was in high school, and leave all that behind. Every day is an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And when you come up to BC, you can leave that guy or gal that was maybe kind of a clown or didn't take school seriously. You can leave them in high school and be whoever you want to be at the college level, right?
Exactly.
Well, I can't wait to see you on Friday. It's going to be a good time, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we are going to revisit the segment that we did with the late, great Karen Floyd. It was a wonderful segment. It absolutely inspired me, and it's something that I think about at least once a week. Her persistence, her dedication to completing her goal, just incredible. Don't go anywhere. We'll have that when we come back.